Hi everyone, hope you're doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, Raila Odinga came out to respond to the issue of abduction in this country, something that he referred to as a barbaric and primitive act. According to him, this regime is more dangerous than the previous one, because even during, not previous, than the Moi one. Because during the Moi era, when Kenyans were being abducted, they were taken to the government institution, Nyayo House. But this time round, with this regime, when they abduct you, you completely disappear. And if you happen to reappear, you might appear with lifeless body. You appear dead. Like 80% you will appear lifeless. 20% you can reappear back while still breathing. But then somewhere in the river, in the forest, like that. So Raila is warning William Ruto and his government to stop the primitive act of abducting innocent people in this country. Kenyans have reacted to Raila Odinga's remarks. And of course, I want us to look into Raila Odinga's statement. Why? At this time when we know they have the broader-based government and the kind of response from Kenyans, it is telling a lot. So first of all, listen to Raila Odinga.
The issue of abductions of innocent people, this is a primitive thing. And it is something that is very strange. You cannot live in a country where people disappear or people are abducted for no other reason and kept incommunicado for a long time. That shows that there is no government. So the government must take this matter seriously. And this thing must end completely. People have been abducted. Families have been left in pain. Many parents have been crying. Our child was abducted the other day, and by some people who were uniformed, and you have never seen this child up to now. These kind of things are very strange. So I want to urge the government to ensure that this matter ends completely this year. We want a safe and secure country. We want a safe and secure country. Gone were those days when they used to arrest you and take you to Nyayo House. But at least then you're being taken to Nyayo House, which is a government institution. These days you're being taken to unknown places. We don't know, we don't want these kind of primitive things to happen in our country. It's primitive and it's unacceptable completely.
Now, as we continue with our panel and discussion, just a quick request for those who are watching this channel and you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. To our returning subscribers, I must say thank you so much. And again, to all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much, and back to our discussion. Now, when you look at the comment section, it completely paints a picture that Raila Odinga is no longer trusted by a majority of Kenyans. Those who trust him are very few as of now. I'm saying so because I've seen some suggesting to Raila Odinga that he must recall all his men, people referred to as experts, in the cabinet before he starts condemning this government. Recall John Badi, recall Oparanya, Hassan Joho, you can also go on to recall Opio and I. Those are the guys that Raila gave to this government as the experts. Sasa kama ungali na hao wote chini ya hii serikali, then you are condemning that government. It means you are not truthful. Why do you still have your men in this government? They represent your image, the image of ODM, and that is it. So they're telling Raila Odinga, first of all, recall your men from this government. Otherwise, Kenyans are treating Raila Odinga's statement as sideshow. They believe it's a sideshow because Raila nowadays he has a direct access to the president. He can do so by reaching out to William Ruto through the phone call. But coming publicly is a kind of a sideshow. There are those who are concluding that if Raila Odinga is coming to the public to condemn the president and his administration, then it means there is a kind of a fallout between the two leaders. That if they agree, Raila Odinga will not come publicly to condemn the president. Instead, he will make a phone call. But because Raila is coming publicly, it then means that Raila has maybe attempted to call the president, advise him on this matter, but the president is not taking the advice, or the president is not picking his call to discuss this matter of abduction. So if there is that disagreement, the only avenue Raila Odinga has is to make such kind of a statement publicly. We see him, of course, condemning the government and, of course, hitting it so hard as far as the issue of abduction is concerned. So, for Raila Odinga to gain the trust from Kenyans, one thing, recall your men from the government. But as long as you have not recalled any of this, then it remains to be a sideshow. Whether you disagree with Ruto on this or you agree with him, 80% still do not trust the statement from Raila Odinga. So whether Raila is serious on what he's talking about, he should know that Kenyans are no longer trusting him. And I've seen in the discussion, we have those who are trusting that Raila is trying to prepare a fallback just in case he loses the AUC chairman seat. That you can have a formula of coming back to Kenyans. So Raila might be laying a foundation such that if he don't win that seat, he can have a proper strategy of fallback and continue maybe to oppose Ruto or compete with William Ruto for the same position. So inaweza kuwa hii ni strategy yake ya kutumia just to try and bring Kenyans back close to him. But the biggest question and worry is about trust. Majority who trusted William Ruto are so doubtful on very many things that Raila Odinga is saying. Walimwamini mbeleni, lakini kumwamini saa hizi limekuwa jambo la kuogopa kwa Wakenya wengi. But still, above all, Raila has passed a message at a time when majority of Kenyans are demanding for release of all the people that have been abducted by this regime. So it is upon Ruto to make a decision. And by the fact that Raila Odinga is putting a blame to this government, it also exposed the IG of police, Kanja. For him, it came out clearly to distance the police from these abduction activities. Then you have Raila Odinga here now coming to blame the government over abduction. So is Raila Odinga telling us that Kanja was wrong? Abduction is being done by the government? Of course, the answer is yes. Raila is just confirming what we've been able to say here, that there are men and women who are actually not using their uniform, but from the disciplined forces who are being used by this regime to settle political differences. And that indicates the fear in this government over the position that Kenyans are taking going forward. They must accept criticism, they must accept to correct the mistake, and they must accept that they are public figure.